the report on the parliamentary action on the universal health coverage.
Eh,
Okay. Chief Clerk, ready?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Pursuant to Article 9, Section 16 of the Constitution of the Federal States of Micronesia and Title 3, Section 201 of the Code of the Federal States of Micronesia, and as set forth in the official rules of procedure of the Congress, I hereby call the 21st Congress of the Federal States of Micronesia 10th special session, which is being held remotely due to the limitations caused by the COVID-19, to order. May we all observe a moment of prayer, silent prayer. For each of us, let us bow our heads. Chief Clerk, roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senator Aritos,
yes.
Senator Christian, Senator Figuer,
Yes.
Senator Goland, Floor Leader Harper,
Yes.
Senator Conman,
Yes.
Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Neth, Senator Palek,
Yes.
Senator Berman, Senator Romalo, Senator Urusmal,
Woo.
Senator Wali, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 8 members are present.
We do have a quorum to transact business on our opening date of the 10th special session. Okay, short recess subject to call of the chair. So, actually, really, LC, what will happen? I will appoint the Pohnpei delegation again to be our committee to wait on the president. But how can we do it? Two members are missing.
The appointment of the committee to wait is perfectly appropriate.
Uh, Congress is now back in session. We're now on item 4. That's the appointment of committee to wait on the president. It is my privilege to appoint Chairman Berman from Pohnpei to also chair the committee to wait. And members will be Senator Palik from Koshai, Senator Conman from Chuk, and Senator Fikir from Yap. They will be part of that. And of course, it will be by Zoom from the President's office. And our people will work with the President's office in setting up that. Chairman Berman work with the President's office in figuring out the time and when you can have that. Okay. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next item is item 5, presidential communications. We are in receipt of numbers 211-503 to number 211-515.
Short recess to the call of the chair. Back in session. Continue, Chief Clerk.
Okay, the next item is item 6 of some Supreme Court communications. We have 2, and they are numbers 211-18 and number 211-19.
Okay, also assign those, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 7, member communications, none at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Point of privilege, Speaker.
Yes, state your point, Chairman Berman.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you, members. Speaker, I rise on a point of privilege to recognize our President, His Excellency David W. Panuelo. Can we please give him a round of applause? We have also the Chief of Staff, Secretary Callen, Secretary Tillman, and Secretary of Foreign Affairs. And we also have executive employees that's also observing our session this morning. And of course, our staffs and everybody else. Can we please give them all a round of applause? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Berman. Yes, indeed, I like to join you in recognizing, acknowledging the presence of His Excellency President Panuelo, who has joined us, and of course his cabinet and staff members who are also present. Welcome and good morning to all of you. Okay. Any other point of privilege? If none, I will now continue. Chief Clerk, next item.
The next item is item 8, departmental communications. We are in receipt of numbers 21-93 to number 21-98.
Okay, assign those, Chief Clerk. Short recess, subject to call of the chair.
I'm
Okay, let's go back. Conclude this banking session. Chief Clerk, next item.
Agency or governmental authority communications, we do not have any, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item 10, state communications, we have two, and they are numbers 211-53 to number 211-54.
Okay, assign those, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 11, state Supreme Court communications, none also, Mr. Speaker. Item
next item.
12, Item 12, municipal or town communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
For the next item, which is item 13, foreign government communications, we are in receipt of a few of them, and they are numbers 211-62 to number 211-73.
Okay. Sign those also, Chief Clerk. Next item. Okay, we're on order of the day. Standing committee reports, Chief Clerk.
None at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Special committee reports.
None also, Mr. Speaker.
Item 16.
For item 16, for assignment of measures and communications, kindly refer to referral sheet number 21-136.
Okay, Chairman and members, review that for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 17, unfinished business, none, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 18, bill calendar, none also, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 19, resolution calendar, we do not have any resolutions at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
For item 20, introduction of bills and resolutions.
Okay, if you have any measure, members, pass them on to Chief Clerk for introduction. Next item.
The next item is item 21, miscellaneous communications. We have two, and they are numbers 21-38 and number 21-39.
Okay, sign those, Chief Clerk. Gentlemen, miscellaneous business.
Speaker.
For Leader Harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a few very minor miscellaneous to make this morning, but before I do so, I would like to personally extend my greeting of respect to His Excellency President Panuelo, all his staff, our own staff, and all those who are observing our session this morning in Pono Bay, in that gallery over there. Mr. Speaker, first thing that I want to express this morning on behalf of the medical referral patients from FSM who are stranded here in Guam, who are staying in, I think, one of the hotels, if I'm not mistaken, at the airport hotel. They would like to request if it would be possible at all for them to have a Zoom. This is the request that I want to extend, and maybe you should decide whether.
I'm sorry, I don't want to. I'm not. I don't mean to interrupt, for Leader, but we kind of lost you. It was kind of. What was it that they're requesting?
If it would be possible to have a Zoom conversation with Congress. And I would like to know whether that would be possible so that I can relay a message to them as to the response of the request. You got that?
Yes, thank you. That's
Okay. In addition to that, I want to mention something now that Andrew Utilmay is there observing our session this morning. In the past few weeks or last month, the Morlocks Islands were experiencing saltwater intrusion into their taro patches. And if I'm not mistaken, most of the taro patches were, in trouble. All the taros were getting yellow, and probably they're all died. So I was expecting the Department or Agency of Disaster in Chuuk to relay the problem to our disaster in Pond Bay National Government, but until now I haven't heard anything if such kind of communication has been done between the disaster office in Chuuk and office of Mr. Yadilmay. So I would like to ask Secretary Yadilmay to please kindly look into this matter, and if there is a way his office can assist in whatever way possible.
Yatilmay. Yatilmay.
Yatilmay.
Yatilmay.
Yatilmay. Huh?
Andrew Adeliman.
Yatilmay.
Sorry, the Japanese last names are kind of hard to pronounce. And in addition to that, just a very minor thing, I would respectfully ask His Excellency President Panuelo to just kindly look at the message. You would have time, you would kindly respond to it. Sorry, President, for being so rude in saying this during miscellaneous, but please forgive me for that. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I just want to say something about this COVID-19 or the lockdown. After hearing all this information and communication or whatever on Facebook, on internet, or everywhere, I seem to kind of beginning to change my mind about the travel ban into FSM. When we first learned about this COVID-19, I was one of the few that really were supporting the restriction of travelers into FSM because of my lack of knowledge as to what is the coronavirus is doing and what are the dangers of it and all that. But now that I begin to kind of understand what it is and about the vaccine that we are getting these days, I seem to change my mind. I think it's about time that we consider, allowing our citizens to come back home. I was just listening to an interview with a doctor who has been studying vaccines, including this one, for 20 years. And, that we're getting is only done on a experimental status. So she said that after maybe 5 or more years, then we can really know whether the vaccine is making us immune to the coronavirus. But as for now, it's only on an experimental status. So that's why many people have already died of the vaccine because at the approved date, it was only authorized. And I've been thinking that if people die because of the vaccine and getting all these side effects, and especially for the fact that we can never know whether we're immune to the coronavirus by getting this vaccine, then I say, then we might as well, let our citizens come back. If we are to wait for 5 or more years to see whether we are immune to the virus, then I don't know the reason why we should be, keep restricting our citizens to come back home. And especially also by experience, as I already said in one of our previous sessions, I had tested positive for the virus, and I was, isolated or quarantined in one of the hotels for only 10 days. And I didn't get any medicine from the hospital or wherever, but I was only able to be cured from the virus by taking our own local medicine, which have been used by many of our citizens here in Guam, Hawaii, and I have known that they're also using in the mainland. And the local medicine to cure the virus. So this is one business, if there would be any good or importance of it, so that we can seriously look at the possibility of starting to move in our people from abroad so they can come and stay with us more secured than being out there, getting all the fear every day of getting that virus. So, Mr. Speaker and all honorable members, sorry for trying to, speed up our thoughts on getting our citizen back, but it's only my personal feeling, but it will be up to all of us, and especially also of the office of the president to decide what would be the more proper thing to do for all of us and for our citizens. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Floor Leader Harbor, for your statements. Yes, on the Zoom, we'll work with our staff, see what's the, I'm not sure I understand what the subject from our stranded medical referral citizens up there in Guam, but we'll find a way to see how we can accommodate it if it comes to that. But I was hoping you're going to ask President to do the Zoom with them, because I understand it has a lot to do with their request for assistance and all those matters relative to their being stranded up there in Guam. But we'll see what we can do. We will notify you and our consulate there if it will come out that way. But I encourage them to also seek audience with our Excellency the President to see if there's anything else that they can relate to him for his assistance. But we'll look into that. On that issue about the opening up our country, of course, that is our ultimate goal. We want to make sure that we open it up, but people are still dying, no matter how we want to slice it. People are still dying from this virus. So I'm sure our national task force and president are still working on how we can do it, opening up our country in such a way that would also protect our citizens here in the FSM. So I'm sure they're looking at that too. But Floor Leader, you know that is our main objective. Our ultimate goal is to open up our country for our citizens out there, and for also our economic and reasons. So I'm quite sure President is fully aware of that. They're doing their best with our national task force. Okay, any other miscellaneous business?
Speaker, just point of information.
Okay, continue.
The person that relayed the request to me, who is Olusumal's constituent, said that they have been having Zoom with the office of the president. So maybe after that, they decide to also get Zoom with us so that they would also maybe express the same concern that they have been expressing to the president's office. Thank you.
Thank you for that information, Floor Leader. We'll take that into account and consideration. Okay, Chairman Ursumal.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Along the same line as was stated by Floor Leader, a couple of things that I also wish to share. The issue on saltwater intrusion into our taro patches, into the taro patches in the islands. First, it was reported to our office by Chief of Ifaluk, one of the chiefs of Ifaluk, that their taro patches are getting salt water in them. And when he first arrived here on the Navigator, and then just last Friday, I believe, he came back and said, you know, something has to be done because the salt water continues to keep coming into the taro patches, not unlike before, where it just come in and then stop. And then few of the islands also reported the same. And I kind of jokingly told him that, you know, the thing here is when a chief of one island requests for something, then the rest of the chiefs would also follow suit by asking for the same thing. But having heard Floor Leader mentioning that there is this problem in the Motlak, I believe that my good chief from Ifaluk was also telling the truth that not only his island, but some of the islands in the outer islands of Yapa are also being invaded by salt water. Inundated. Yeah, my mouth is not good for English. So maybe the Department of TECOM can get on the radio and find out how much of this is true. I know the Council of Chiefs from the outer islands is meeting here. There should be closing up before the ship leaves to go back on it. And I'm sure there will be communication on the issue. People have been asking us to address the issue on opening up our country. And one of them really kind of chased me around and asked me, why are you not opening up the country? And I said, well, first of all, it's not us, Congress. It's our state that has the key to whether open or not open. But I asked him, if you were in my shoes, will you open up not knowing how it would affect people here in Yap? And he said, no, you that's why I'm saying you open up, but not I. So I just I'll share that with the Floor Leader. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Ursumal. You know, we do have procedures on, disasters. The national government just cannot do it on its own. It has to await the states to do their part. That means they will do their either declaration or their own disaster reports to the president or to the appropriate office, and then they will begin to do their jobs. We just cannot go out on our own. If you recall, we at one point tried to declare emergency on our own without the states. And what did we do in Congress? We, undid that because it was not the procedures were not followed. So we need to follow it. But it's good that our TECAM people have heard the complaints or the concerns, and I hope Secretary Yadelman, because his salaries have been raised, so I hope we can start to do something about it. Okay. Any other miscellaneous business?
Well, Speaker, I just
Yes,
want
Chairman Perman.
thank you. I just want to associate myself with the two members before. I just came from Safwafik, and what I advise, and the senator from Safwafik came with us, and I believe it's not only and the entire outer islands of FSM is having issues with salt intrusion to their taro patches. But I told them there are ways to do things. It's the state must do something first, must declare for us to react. Because I told them what you just said. I remember President Christian did that, and then we have to undid what he did. So yes, I hope that the Pohnpei State will do their assessments and then have their governor send a letter to the president so we can prepare our resources to help them out too. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Berman. Yes, I guess that's we have to keep following our procedures, or else we'll be all over the place. And I think there's a reason for putting protocols in place so things can be done consistently and conveniently, efficiently. Okay. Any other miscellaneous? Yes, Senator Balik.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Let me also join you in acknowledging and paying respect to His Excellency President Panuelo, and also to recognize our staff and cabinet members. Mr. Speaker, one of the important tenets or principles of our democratic form of government is transparency. And, I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate and thank the President and his Public Information Office, as I have observed. And I think that much information, a lot of critical information has been shared from the President's office. And I think that's very critical. I think our citizens should be aware of what's going on in our government. And it's a testament, and it's also a challenge for other branches of government or offices to follow. So I wish to just take this opportunity to thank Mr. President for such an excellent job in getting information out to our constituents and our citizens. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, in thinking about this session, I try and reflect on some of the key issues that are pending, that are very critical either to the economic or social development of our country. And one of the sectors that I still believe we're not paying much attention to, or lack of action, is in the telecommunications sector. And we all know that there are numbers of bills that are pending in Congress that would have direct bearing on this particular industry sector, very vital and very critical to the development of our nation in the long run. So I would humbly and kindly ask, Mr. Speaker, that we make an effort to address some of these pending bills that are critical. One that I'm sure we're all aware of is the UNTRU bill, the bill to transfer certain assets from FSMTC to OAE. That in particular is a very critical bill, and sure, we need to review it very carefully. But I think if we don't act in a timely manner, then adverse impact on our overall economy and our citizenry could be substantial. And finally, Mr. Speaker, there are a couple other bills that I have keen interest in that I think would have direct impact on either our economic development or reform of our government, and that would generate revenue to this government. And in the past session, I pointed some of these bills that are pending that has been with Congress for quite some time. Some in, for example, tax reform, bills that would improve our tax administration and enhance revenue collection. So I would again kindly ask that we focus on these areas and these issues in this and the next session. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate all those members who were victorious in the recent FSM Congress election. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Balik, for those. Of course, we have our responsibility in those sectors, including the telecommunications sector. And we have our works that we need to continue to review, especially with the TNC committee. They need to continue to do their works. And yes, of course, we will always do what we need to do. And what can I say? I mean, that's part of our responsibility. We have to do things as we see it, and we continue to seek the advice and assistance from our executive branch. They're the experts. They have the expertise in these matters, the subjects. So we need to continue to seek their guidance in how we can move forward on those important subjects. Okay. Any other miscellaneous business? Chairman Fakir, you have any?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No miscellaneous business.
Thank you. Okay. Troop delegation, you have any miscellaneous business?
Yes.
No miscellaneous business.
Okay. All right. So if no further,
Speaker.
oh yes, Floor, you have further.
Yeah, just also a minor one. I want to ask our delegation if you would allow, Mr. Speaker, if we can meet sometime, maybe if not today, tomorrow or Wednesday.
Well, as you know, Floor Leader, we are missing two members. One is actually is sick, and the other one is stuck out there in the northwest. We don't know when he will be back, depending on the ship. So can we wait until they're both available so we can talk about maybe Wednesday, huh? Wednesday or
Okay. Whatever,
yeah.
whenever we're
all right.
present.
Yes. Anything else, Chairman Rosimar? You seem distressed. Okay. All right. If no,
Speaker,
yes. Yes, Chairman Fakir.
may I ask for a short recess?
Okay. Short recess. Subject to call of the chair.
Yeah, Speaker, I asked for a short recess because I schedule a committee meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock your time, Yap time. And
Okay.
I'm wondering about the scheduling for the committee to wait on the president and whether we should move that meeting or we can still proceed with it.
Well, let's hear it from Chairman Perman. Chairman Perman, when will your Zoom
The
meeting?
Zoom is, Speaker, the Zoom is ready to go at 12:30 Pohnpei time.
12:30 tomorrow, huh? Or today?
Today.
Oh, okay, okay. So that's get ready. That will come into the announcement, Chairman Figure. So that's okay with you?
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So our Ways and Means meeting is still on at 9 o'clock tomorrow
At
morning.
9. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll come down to the announcements. Okay. Let's go back. Congress is back in session. Okay. Any further miscellaneous business? If none, let me again just say something on behalf of Congress. I would like to thank His Excellency President Panuelo for joining us this morning, and also to your cabinet and staff who are here. I was grateful. We've heard a lot of talks in town and around about all this assistance that our national government is providing to the people. Some of them are still late. Some of our people are complaining that they're not yet getting their stimulus or whatever type of assistance. But we're grateful that our people are appreciative of all the other kind of assistance that we're also giving out, especially like the low-income assistance and farmers and fishermen assistance. And we would appreciate if you can instruct your staff to continue to work as quickly as possible to make those things happen in our states. And I am grateful for that, Mr. President. And please let us know if there is anything else Congress can do to continue to provide this kind of assistance to our people during this pandemic. So thank you, Mr. President, for those. And if no further miscellaneous, let's go down to announcement. Okay, Chairman Figuer, you go first. Announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Ways and Means will have an executive meeting at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning in that chamber, so we can have a talk with each other. And the purpose of the meeting is to review what is pending before this Congress and the committee, and what else we need to take this session.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman Figuer. Take note, the members of Ways and Means. There's an executive meeting tomorrow at 9. Okay. Chairman, no, Vice Chairman Balik, any announcement?
Thank you. I have no announcement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Balik. Chairman Berman.
Thank you, Speaker. HSA, we have actually 3 grants that is actually coming up. So be ready we might have a hearing on that. And as of the committee to wait on the president, right after session, Mr. Speaker, we will be meeting the president.
Okay, take note, members of HSA committee, we have some measures that are coming up for hearing, and for the committee to wait on the president. Also take note, your meeting with His Excellency after session today, so be prepared. Okay. Vice Chairman Aridos, you have any announcement?
Thank you, Speaker. No announcement.
Okay, Chairman Conman, any announcement?
Mr. Speaker, no announcement at this time. Thank you.
Okay, Chairman Ursumo?
No announcement, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, Floor Leader, you have any announcement? Then your motion.
Mr. Speaker, as the Panabbayan say, so Chabakayan, and I move that we stand in recess until 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh,
It's 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning, troop time. Thank
Speaker,
you.
may I